Sitting at my table looking at these empty seats. I was raised to see the good in people, never stop to think someone may not want the best for me. As I go through years, I grow wiser, look around me, bad intentions all I see. A man I once knew saw the world this way, a free spirit caged by fear that turned to anger. Scared of the judgment of people, seen as a failure. Isolation was the only way to keep himself safe. A man who never knew peace till he deceased. Every heartbeat felt like a beast on its feet, craving to be unleashed through all his good energy. On June 3rd of 2023, he was free. He was my father, a dad of 2 sons and 1 daughter, who's a mother, plus my mother. Think we got a lot to offer. Happy family of 5, we got a good thing. Nothing can ruin this life, is what I hoped. I was born in Winder, Georgia, to a family of 4. Both parents, 2 siblings, couldn't ask for no more. We was happy like we Jon Favreau, but our high school was no good, and now my sisters gotta move, so we back down to 4. We're moving to Memphis, no explanation. Look my parents in the eyes, fake smiles on their faces. While my brother and my mother packed their things into the car, I sat and wondered why my dad ain't do the same. Then I came to Tennessee with a family of 3. My daddy said it's temporary, kept my worries at ease. He'd be here in a blink, and our weak foundation would be back on its feet. I couldn't wait. One day he called, he said he's moving in May. He said, I promise son, we gon' be a family again. May came, he needs a few more days. And those days turn to weeks, and those weeks into years. I feel like Hachi at the station waits for Parker to appear, holding on to a hope that was faker than veneers. I was in denial, but the truth would persevere. I wouldn't cry another time for 10 years. He never told us why, as a result I start to blame myself. If I was a better son, then maybe he'd be here with us, and maybe we'd be happier. And all the habits fostered by trauma would cease to exist, like a cease and desist. So as my father turned our family to a stereotype, his choiceful absence made an impact that altered my personality. Hot-headed, defiant, turned timid with internality. Constant people pleasing was far from an abnormality. Insecure, chasing acceptance. Someone is angry, I'm breathless. If I messed up, then I'm restless until I fix it. Led to people taking advantage with simple guilt trips. The worst part, whole time I'm being used, I didn't notice. I was taught to see the good in people, never stop to think someone may not want the best for me. As I go through years, I grow wiser, look around me, bad intentions all I see. So one day I woke up and saw the evil of my peers. Started fighting for respect despite my academic prowess. Was a straight A student who'd always end up suspended. But this is the moment I'd learn what self-respect is. But my trauma and my manhood would never seem to mix. Trauma tends to evolve. My father's isolation manifested in my life in a way so devastating that I'd end up hurting people that just wanted me to stay and say I love you, but my paranoia stayed up in the way. Quick to cut my people off at the first misunderstanding. Wouldn't even give a chance for us to talk out a thing, because leaving first was easier than giving them trust, so that I wouldn't re-experience my childhood dreams. So as soon as I felt judged, I was gone. Didn't care if I was wrong, I felt safer when alone, so I forced it. I felt a new constant need to stay in control, and every time something didn't go my way, it reinforced it. I never told them why, as a result they start to blame themselves. If I was a better friend, then maybe he'd be here with me, or maybe we'd be happier. And all the habits fostered by trauma would cease to exist, like a cease and desist. Like father, like son, I thought I broke free, but this apple's still under the tree in which it grew on. No longer in position to criticize what he did wrong, cause with every mistake I made, I better understood. Sad family of 5 came together for the last time, crowded by the bedside for my father's dying moments. For once I saw him not as my father, but as a person. Felt bad to not know his disposition in this life, cause I know he loved his kids. Untreated mental illnesses forced him to leave and stay gone for our own benefit. Became my own man and learned about the world around to finally understand what that meant. So as he took his last breath, I forgave him for his absence and told him I would dedicate to him this very album as a gift from man to man. I'd play it for him if I could, and promised that I'd make it big just like he said I would. Rest in peace, my father, Idris Wade. This album, Table for One, is dedicated to you.